So this is only very simple, I think so 10 line of code. It's calling everything what you need, and this is the one of the really professional example how you can communicate the GeoServer, how can you configure the GeoServer with the PostGIS database, and then call the publish the PostGIS service GeoServer services, call the GeoServices, and start the GeoServer and call the GeoServices into using very simple HTML page. It works exactly what we want or what you need as a professional day. As I said, we worked like 10 or 15 years as a software developer or software industry, but every day we work like this way. That's I said. There's a lot of viewers and subscribers every time asking me. It is hard to understand for the very beginners, but it is easy when you get it really clearly. That's I mean. So for the professionals, they can get it really very quickly as a professional way. So from my or from our point of view or my point of view, it is a design or it is built as a systematic and as a professional way to do, not the hello world or something like that, not simply call the OpenStreetMap or Google Maps and doing nothing. I saw a lot of things in the YouTubes or other part, but it is all things is really how can say very simple things. But when you are really concentrated to program with Web GIS, web mappings, or doesn't matter in JavaScript based or Java based or other programming or Python based, doesn't matter, but you need to understand really, you need to understand clearly, and you have to go really proper way. That means if you learn, if you have a less knowledge, doesn't matter, but if you learn really properly in the professional way, then it's make industry happy, your company make happy, you make your job is really enjoyable and happy, but they will be happy. If you make everything rubbish all together and there is no segregation between the your business logic, your front end or back end and all service things, and they will kill you or they will rubbish things, you can, they will not hire you. That's I mean that's the situation here. So you need to be clearly segregate your logic, segregate your backends like your PostGIS database, and you build your GeoServices and configure the GeoServices, publish the GeoServices, call the GeoService into the your HTML page as a proper way and proper structure way. That's I mean. So you see that GeoServer. So we call the GeoServer. They're exactly same page. Of course, you need to be here something. If you use a professional way, then we have to make one simple variable here in top level, call the variables, and even don't need write to every time to do it. I will do it later. I'm continuing this. Just like only the very simple understanding how mean, but in later case, I will externally program it like this URL. It's coming every time. Then you can set it globally and build the URL. That's all. This is very simple setup of the URL call. But I'll here this stage I will show you just like how really very beginner levels. And the professional level, normally we don't do it like this way. We just put it on extra variables here and then build the pages like where we need extra variables. So like maybe neighbor but geo base URL, and then you put it your geobase URL. And that's all. So you have a geobase base URL, just replace it this one and it works automatically. Base URL, very simple string, you can pass it and it works automatically. Very simple. Maybe this is the value of string, just like string value, put it. That's, and you can replace this variable some base URL. That is should work automatically. This is the professional way. Or you can write down the externally this this configuration externally a file, because we are programming like it's a very simple HTML CSS. You cannot control more control externally. But if you program with the TypeScript or Angular or React or Java or Groovy or Grails, then you have more control externally configure all things together. But and here we didn't did the control of the all things, but we are doing the all really basic programming in these cases. So so that means it's exactly same thing. So it's the same base URL, primary road networks. That's what we will topic of this one. You see the other primary road networks where we are. So not this one, not this one. This is one. So this is the primary base where you see the Bangladesh road networks and Bangladesh primary road networks and the Dhaka city road networks, the capital city of Bangladesh and POEs and so on and so forth. And this is the things that you are calling. So you see the Bangladesh road networks, maybe blah 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 to write in the BBB, and then let's see that's how it's refresh the your page. So replace the phrase, and then you see the it's really expected to what we expected. So maybe the default settings they can set it here. So you see it's changing, nothing to do with the business logic. Just business logic is done by the service itself, and then it works automatically what we expected. So 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 you have some like that. You have some GeoServer URL, and then exactly same thing, primary road that we already show you, and this is the capital city of Bangladesh, and in the exactly the same URL and then different layers. So you see only the different layers: OpenStreetMap, geospatial, and primary roads, and then my groups. This is another groups of the layers definition in the GeoServer that I already talk about this little bit here. So if you see the different groups of workspace, and then this is different workspace. So this is geospatial workspace, and this is the you see the my workspace and something like that. So this is geospatial workspace definition of the geospace workspace, and this is layers information, all layer information with workspace store information, layer names, and so on and so forth, and the projection systems, the default projection system, and so on and so forth. And then so visibility true, and then here the POEs. So you see the POEs, it is a local host in the GeoServer. You see that it is not available. That's I mean. So it is not available. That's why because there is no service running localhost 999 and GeoServer WMS. If you see the two difference, so localhost 777 GeoServer, this is exactly the what we expected. That's why I said in the one when you are here, that's I think that I said. So when you are, let's cut down this one. Let's also cut down this one. This one's me. So if you see that when you refresh the button, refresh the page, you see that the initial selections is not available. That's why you have simple flags of your. You see that there is no data. That's why this is the simple flag is coming. Yes, this is the initial loader. So there is no service running. If I go to the here, there is no service running also. There's nothing is there. So that's very simple. There's no service running, there's no roads network running, places, and so on and so forth. Nothing there. Just like here's a very simple the leveling information we didn't configure yet. These all those services in the GeoServer and PostGIS database. That's why you cannot see it. You cannot visualize it, but program code is there, but we didn't have it defined the servers and services definitions. If you see this one, so let's we change the visualization. So let's say our default visualization when the map started, it will be the true settings. So let's say the visualization true settings. If you refresh the maps, the web page, the HTML page again, that means all this should be defaultly selected the road networks, and this you see that's how efficient it is. So it visualization, and it is also default. You can say false. because still it is false settings. So true settings for